How's she going, folks? Muppets have been sent to Muppeteers' homes so they can record from home for Sesame Street. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, as unimaginable as these times may be, we're going with the punches, especially Sesame Street. Sesame Street is doing an entire episode called Elmo's Playdate. If you live in the USA, you can see this. If not, you better get your VPN going. Anyways, so here's Elmo's dad, real cool guy, and Elmo. I think, yeah, all these guys are green screened in onto a background. I can kind of see the lighting difference on Elmo versus Elmo's dad, but they really pull it off neatly. They really do. If you're really into tech, you might want to check out this episode. I'll link to it in the description. Anyways, they have a big day, just like children are these days, playing on their tablets, communicating with stars just like children. Yep, yep, playing games with famous people, having video calls with other Muppets. If you have children, you know exactly what this is like these days. Anne Hathaway, or whatever her name is, you always get the best stars on Sesame Street. But yeah, these days, your kids dancing around, having their tablet. Guys, could you imagine in like 1999, where I was, there was teacher strikes, and we got to hang out with all of our friends. Could you imagine that kind of stuff happening these days and not being able to go out? I'm seriously concerned about the development of my children, the fact that they can't go out, because you have to get your kids to be good kids by the time they're like 6. They have to be the kind of kids that other kids want to play with and that other parents want to be around. You got to socialize them. And man, this is the worst time for me not being able to socialize my kids. But hopefully it'll all work out well, because I definitely don't want to lose any lives over any of this. Anyways, we have a very thoughtful message from Elmo's dad that I think you should all check out. I'm going to link to it in the description. But what's really curious about Elmo's dad to me is this a situation where kids that used to enjoy Elmo are now having kids of their own, and Elmo's dad is supposed to represent or is supposed to appeal to us? Because I see a lot of the things coming out of the 80s and the 90s for kids having strong undertones of being connected to older fans too. Like, for example, the Transformers that you get these days are, man, you can't tell me that old fans aren't going to get a kick out of those things. There's a lot of things that reach out to older parents, and I wonder if this is maybe the first time that Sesame Street has had or has tried to reach out to older viewers with a Muppet for Sesame Street. It would make total sense, but I definitely think the parents should check this out. These are definitely very hard times. But unimaginable though they may be, we will win through. We'll figure our way through this. Now, Sesame Street has a way of being very up with the times, and I don't want to say in your face, but very edgy in the way that they just show you reality. And when Mr. Hooper died, they did an episode of it. They didn't hide what death was. They did an episode to tell kids what death was, and you gotta respect Sesame Street for that. Early episodes wouldn't be able to be shown on PBS because of the dark nature of life back then in the inner cities when this first happened. But Sesame Street has always been there to educate, even though life can be very dark. That's just the way things go. Anyways, definitely check out the links in the description. Like and subscribe if you like this stuff, folks. Always appreciate it. Hope you guys are doing good. And take care of each other, folks.